Our story begins decades before the hero we know exists, on a snowy night in 1974. A young boy named Thaddeus Sivana sits in the back of his father's car with his older brother, Sid. Their father is cold and dismissive, the kind of man who measures his sons by how useful they are rather than how much he loves them. Sid is the golden child. Thaddeus is the afterthought, mocked for being weak and unworthy in his own family's eyes. To pass the time, Thaddeus is fiddling with a strange puzzle box he found. Without warning, the box responds to him, and the car itself seems to be pulled somewhere else entirely. In an instant, the vehicle is transported into a hidden, ancient cavern lit by torches, a place outside of time. This is the Rock of Eternity. And waiting for the boy is an old, robed wizard, simply known as Shazam. He explains to young Thaddeus that he has been searching for centuries for a successor, a champion pure of heart, strong enough to hold his power and keep the world safe from an ancient evil. Around the throne room stand 7 towering stone statues, each representing one of the 7 deadly sins: pride, envy, gluttony, lust, sloth, wrath, and greed. The wizard warns that these sins are real, imprisoned monsters, and if they are ever set free, they will consume the world. The wizard tests Thaddeus, using magic to peer into his heart. But the vision reveals jealousy, anger, and cruelty simmering beneath the surface. The boy is not pure. The wizard rejects him. Thaddeus begs for a chance, but he's forcibly sent back to the car, back to the real world, devastated and humiliated. In his rage on the ride home, Thaddeus lashes out at his father and brother, causing the car to swerve and crash. It's the moment that fractures his entire life and quietly plants the seed of the villain he will become. Years later, we meet our actual hero, although you'd never guess it by looking at him. Billy Batson is a teenage boy bouncing between foster homes, using his own resourcefulness to try to solve the one mystery that haunts him, the identity and whereabouts of his birth mother, who became separated from him at a carnival when he was very young. We see Billy manipulating the system, feeding police information in exchange for clues about his mom, before slipping away from a social worker at a fair. It doesn't take long before he's caught. Billy is picked up and told this is his last chance, one more home, one more family, or the system will run out of patience with him. Billy is placed with Victor and Rosa Vasquez, a warm-hearted couple who run a group foster home themselves, having grown up in the foster system before finding each other. They already care for 5 other foster kids, each with a distinct personality. There's Mary, the oldest, responsible and college-bound. Freddie, a sharp-witted disabled boy obsessed with superheroes. Eugene, glued to his phones and video games. Pedro, quiet and shy. And Darla, the youngest, endlessly cheerful and unfiltered. Billy is standoffish at first, uninterested in bonding with a family he doesn't expect to stay with. Freddie, in particular, tries hardest to connect, geeking out about superheroes like Superman and Batman, but Billy brushes him off. The next day at school, Billy witnesses Freddie being cornered and tormented in the boys' bathroom by 2 much larger bullies, Brett and Burke Breyer. Rather than stay out of it, Billy steps in to defend Freddie, and the confrontation spills out into the street, where Billy ends up outrunning the bullies onto a subway platform. Alone on the subway car, Billy notices something is wrong. The train is empty, and it doesn't seem to be following its usual route. The car doors open onto a place that shouldn't exist, the Rock of Eternity. Billy is pulled before the ancient wizard Shazam, now decrepit and dying, the last of his kind. Every previous champion he tested has failed him, including, we now understand, Thaddeus Sivana decades earlier. Desperate and out of time, the wizard has no other choice but to test Billy, even though the boy is far from perfect. Despite his flaws, the wizard senses something in Billy, a fundamentally good heart, buried under years of self-preservation and distrust. The wizard commands Billy to speak his name, Shazam, and to become his champion. When Billy says it, a bolt of magic lightning strikes him, and standing in his place is an entirely different person, a fully grown, muscular adult superhero in a red and gold suit, with Billy's mind still very much intact inside. The wizard, having passed on his powers, disappears, leaving Billy, now Shazam, alone and extremely confused in the cavern. Shazam finds his way back onto the subway platform. Still processing what just happened, he runs into Freddie again. After a chaotic, funny back and forth where Freddie doesn't believe this hulking stranger is actually Billy, Billy proves it, and the two of them begin to realize the sheer scale of what's just happened. Billy now has the powers of a full-blown superhero. Cutting away from Billy, we return to Thaddeus Sivana, now a grown man, brilliant but bitter, still consumed by the humiliation of his childhood rejection. He has spent his entire adult life researching the Rock of Eternity, obsessed with proving he was worthy all along. At a company board meeting with his father and brother, Sivana reveals he's finally found a way back to the cavern. Rather than celebrate, his family dismisses him once again, still treating him like the family disappointment. It's the final insult. Sivana uses ancient magic to summon the Eye of Sin, and through it, he allows the 7 deadly sins to escape their statues and possess him. He unleashes them on his own father and brother, killing them, and steps into the role of the wizard's true enemy, a champion of evil rather than good. Back with Billy and Freddy, the tone shifts to fun and comedic as the two boys begin testing the full range of Shazam's abilities in alleys and back lots around the city. They discover he has super strength, can generate and control lightning, is bulletproof, and can fly, though his control over most of these powers is clumsy and inconsistent at first. Freddy takes charge as the tech-savvy handler, cataloging Billy's abilities on his phone like a set of superhero stats, while Billy embraces the thrill of being powerful for the first time in his life. Rather than immediately using his powers for heroism, Billy, still a teenage boy at heart, starts using them for personal gain. He and Freddy charge kids money for photos, do party tricks like lifting cars, and even help a bodega guard scare off a would-be robber, catching all of it on video. Freddy posts the footage online, and Shazam quickly becomes an internet sensation, a viral superhero without an origin story, beloved for his showmanship rather than any real heroics. Billy soaks in the attention and adoration, enjoying being seen as extraordinary for the first time. Sivana, now empowered by the sins and hunting for any remaining magic, tracks down the Rock of Eternity once more. He finds the dying wizard, who is horrified to see what became of the boy he once rejected. The wizard tries to warn him off, revealing that a new champion has already been chosen, but it only enrages Sivana further. In the confrontation, Sivana destroys the wizard for good, severing any last connection to the old order of magic and confirming himself as the story's central threat. Sivana begins hunting for the identity of this new champion, and it isn't long before he corners Freddy outside of school, correctly guessing that the boy is somehow connected to the viral superhero. In a terrifying, one-sided confrontation, Sivana uses his sin-fueled powers to brutally intimidate and attack Freddy, demanding answers. Billy, as Shazam, arrives just in time to save Freddy from the worst of it, but the fight quickly reveals how outmatched Billy still is. Overwhelmed and inexperienced, Shazam is forced to retreat rather than risk Freddy's life further, fleeing the scene. It's a humiliating, frightening wake-up call. This isn't a game, and Billy's powers come with real consequences. Back at the Vasquez house, the emotional weight of the encounter settles in. Freddy is deeply hurt, not just physically, but by the fact that Billy fled and left him behind in the moment he needed him most. Their friendship fractures, with Freddy accusing Billy of only caring about the fame and attention that came with the powers, not the responsibility. Stung by the accusation but unwilling to face it directly, Billy decides to pursue the one thing that has always mattered more to him than anyone else, the search for his birth mother. Using an old case file, he finally finds her address and, without telling anyone, sneaks away to track her down. Billy finds his mother living an ordinary life, and their reunion is not the fairy tale he's dreamed about for years. She's stunned to see him, but rather than embracing him, she admits the painful truth. She left him at the carnival as a young child on purpose, unable to handle raising him as a struggling teenage mother, and she has built an entirely new life since then that doesn't include him. It's a devastating moment for Billy, stripping away the fantasy he's held onto through every foster home and every act of running away. He returns to the Vasquez house changed, finally beginning to understand that the family he's had all along, the one he kept at arm's length, might be the real family he was always looking for. Billy opens up to Freddy and, eventually, the rest of the Vasquez foster siblings, revealing the full truth about his powers and the pain that's been driving his behavior all along. Rather than judging him, the family embraces him completely, and for the first time, Billy allows himself to actually belong somewhere. To make things right with Freddy, Billy invites him along as they explore the Rock of Eternity together, showing him the wizard's throne room and the ability Shazam still has left to master. It's here that Freddy discovers, if the situation is ever dire enough, Billy might be able to share a portion of his powers with others by proxy. Their peace is short-lived. Sivana, still hunting for Shazam, tracks Billy to a local carnival where the whole Vasquez family has gathered for a night out. He launches a full assault, using the Eye of Sin and his monstrous, sin-possessed powers to cause chaos and try to draw Shazam out into the open. In the pandemonium, Sivana captures several of the Vasquez children, using them as leverage, and it becomes brutally clear that Billy's secret life has now put the entire family he loves in direct danger. Cornered and outmatched again, Billy realizes he cannot beat Sivana alone. Remembering what he learned about the wizard's power, he shouts the magic word and shares a portion of his abilities with his foster siblings, Mary, Freddie, Pedro, Eugene, and Darla, transforming each of them into their own superpowered adult forms. What was once a lone, untrained teenager suddenly becomes an entire family of heroes fighting side by side for the very first time, each of them discovering their new strength, speed, or abilities on the fly in the middle of the fight. The full-blown battle against Sivana and his embodiment of the 7 deadly sins erupts through the carnival grounds. The newly empowered family works together, using their combined abilities to protect innocent bystanders and hold their own against Sivana's overwhelming power, even as the fight spills through fairground rides and attractions. Despite their numbers, Sivana remains a brutal threat, and at a critical moment, he manages to overpower Billy directly, seemingly gaining the upper hand and threatening to finally claim victory. Rather than trying to physically overpower Sivana, Billy uses his wits. He deliberately provokes Sivana's greed and envy, goading him into grabbing at Billy's powers directly through the Eye of Sin, drawing the monstrous embodiment of the 7 deadly sins into himself. With the sins now concentrated and unstable within the eye, Billy and his siblings work together to trap them, severing Sivana from most of his stolen power and banishing the sins back to their imprisoned state, leaving Sivana defeated and powerless, plummeting from the ride he'd been fighting atop. With Sivana's threat neutralized, the Vasquez family returns home, their bond stronger than ever, no longer just foster siblings living under the same roof, but a real family bound together by a secret only they share. The film closes around the Christmas season, with the newly whole family decorating their home, Billy fully embracing his place among them for the first time. Freddie, meanwhile, has taken on the role of Billy's superhero support system full-time, and the two of them continue moonlighting together as Philadelphia's own resident hero and sidekick, now working as an actual team rather than showman chasing fame. In the mid-credits scene, we check in on Thaddeus Sivana, now imprisoned in Arkham Asylum following his defeat. Alone in his cell, he's visited by a small, unsettling worm-like creature that speaks to him telepathically, hinting at a much larger, more sinister force waiting in the shadows of this world, a tease for future stories still to come. In the final post-credits stinger, we return to the Vasquez living room, where the family is gathered watching the news. A brief clip plays showing Superman in action elsewhere in the world, and the family reacts with excited disbelief that their own city now has a hero to call its own, standing shoulder to shoulder with the most famous superheroes on Earth, a fittingly hopeful, funny note to close out Billy's story.